Hey everybody, this is Ben, a secular progressive homeschool dad. It's late September 2025 and I'm out getting my exercise, but something was bothering me this morning. I just wanted to see if other folks had some suggestions on how to handle this, but it's one of those things. I'm not going to make the case here, though I feel that a case can and has been made before by people more articulate and insightful than I, that in a lot of ways the boomer generation is like just the worst generation. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about a thing that really upset us. So we have an older family member, a wonderful family member that we love very much, but who also helps a lot with childcare for our daughter. And my wife and I both noticed this on separate occasions, where when this family member is watching our daughter and she gets upset about something, the daughter, one of the things that the family member does, her management technique for the child being upset, is to say, hey, come here and look in the mirror and look how ugly you look when you cry. Which, it happened in front of me once, and I was like, whoa, we don't say that. That is terrible. We don't say that. But, to a certain extent, the damage had already been done. And then I find out that, I mentioned this to my wife, and my wife said, yes, that had happened to her in front of her once before as well. And my wife said the same thing I did and talked to the family member. So we're going to have to talk to that family member again. But, the family member's like in their early 70s. But the thing that is so bothersome is that it's come back up again a couple times with our daughter when she's upset about something. We have lots of resources that we're working through on emotional regulation, but when she's in tears and crying about something, sometimes apropos of nothing, she'll say, I don't want to look at myself. I'm so ugly. And if you don't know, sorry, it's upsetting to think about your kid saying that. Anyhow, so my daughter's just 3.5 years old. So that's a fucked up thing for the kid to say and to have been taught. And then just like last night, daughter was upset. It was time to brush teeth. And some nights that's a very enthusiastic thing. And then other nights that's a thing that, we're not into. So there were tears last night, and I'm downstairs while my wife is handling this. And of course, my daughter in her bathroom, she has a mirror right in front of her little sink where she brushes her teeth. And I can hear from downstairs the kid bawling and saying, I don't want to look in the mirror. I don't want to brush my teeth because I don't want to look in the mirror. So I would like some suggestions. I could use some help from other parents who maybe have some ideas on how to constructively deal with this, how to help my daughter. The family member will deal with, and I feel like we can fix their behavior in this regard. But what I would really like is some other parents to maybe give me some ideas on how to talk with my daughter about this. It's really heartbreaking, upsetting to hear that. And when I think about this family member, I do have a lot of sympathy for them. And I do feel bad because I don't feel like that's something that this family member just improvised. I feel like that's probably something that was taught to this family member. And I'm sympathetic, and a part of my heart aches and mourns a little bit for the little person that this family member was when this was done to her, because I've never heard of anything like this before. I'd never run across it myself, but it doesn't seem like just something that this family member improvised. So anyhow, I would appreciate some suggestions from folks on maybe how to talk with my daughter about this. You know, we're not going to make a huge deal about it, but I've just, you know, I'm pretty consistently talked to her about how she's beautiful without being focused on looks. I don't want her to develop a complex. You know, I think I saw an Instagram mom, excuse me, years ago, and I made a note about some advice where, you know, every day, you know, I tell my daughter, I love you. I will always love you. Nothing will ever change that. And I'm so incredibly proud to be your dad. So we go through that all the time. And we talk a lot. I guess I talk to her a lot about how well she does different things, about things about her that I like that are not based on physical appearance. You know, we talk about her talents and her smile and how quick she learns things and a funny thing that she said. We do a lot of talking about humor and how she's such a funny person. So anyhow, yeah, I just like some tips, some ideas, some insight on maybe how to approach this. So if you got some good ideas, please share, excuse me, in the comments. And looks like Dan McClellan. The fit for today is "You Have Died" from listening to RFK Jr. But usually what I talk about is the book I'm reading, and I'm still working my way through How to Be Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. Okay, I'll catch you folks later. Take care.